Hey crew, it's Bid, and I'm back with today's Timeless Tarot for August the 8th of 2025. But this is a timeless message, so whenever you find it is exactly when it was meant to find you. We will be pulling 8 cards from the feminine deck, 8 cards from the masculine deck, in accordance with the 8 human chakras, so that we can get a better understanding of exactly how we can best manifest our highest timeline in accordance with spirit. I've already done a pre-shuffle, but I like to get a couple more just to make sure everything is exactly where Spirit would have it to be. And now we will begin pulling with the base. And in the base, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. In the sacral, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. In the solar plexus, we have the Knight of Wands. A lot of Wands energy. In the heart, we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. In the throat, we have the Six of Pentacles. In the third eye, we have the King of Swords in reverse. And in the crown, we have the Magician in reverse. And rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands. Next, we'll pull 8 cards from the Divine Masculine deck. The Divine Feminine, the cards that are already on the table, tell us what the current situation is, what the current energy is. The Divine Masculine lets us know what steps that we can take, what positive actions we can put forth in our life to help manifest our highest timeline. And now we will begin pulling with the Crown, the World. That is an amazing combination right there. In the third eye, you have the Queen of Swords. In the throat, you have the Emperor. In the heart, we have the Four of Pentacles. In the solar plexus, it's the Four of Wands. In the sacral, we have the Two of Swords. In the base, we have the Ten of Wands in reverse. And rounding out our message from the Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. Now, let's dive in and see what the cards are telling us. Overarching, there's a lot of change energy here. There's some decisions to be made. And so let's go. We begin in the base because that is base existence. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? Those are base provision. That is all in your current energy. This is your job. This is your home life currently. This is the area that deals with love and wrath. So you may be giving away a little bit too much affection. You may not be receiving the affection that you feel like you deserve, and neither is intrinsically good in and of itself. And what you have is the Seven of Wands, right? This is the harvest of change. This is currently unfolding in your life in the negative position. When it presents standing tall like this, he is in a defensive position. He is holding off all of his attackers. But this is the end of the first row, the end of the harvest of the first crops, right? You have planted your crops, you have nurtured them throughout the season, and now it is time to harvest the just rewards. This is if it is a pentacle, it is your hard work. If it is swords, it's hard thoughts. And this is change, right? This is the harvest of the change that you have been trying to bring into your life. We can see that. Now you have this in the reverse, and that can indicate that this is a less defensive position. When he is standing tall, this is defensive. He is holding off the attackers. That is letting the attack come to you. That is harvesting the energy as it comes to you. This is a more active role. This is less active. This is more active. He has the high ground, and he is defending himself well against all of these attackers. But in the reverse, that is you going out and you taking active steps, you participating. Now, clarifying that with some steps that can be taken from the Divine Masculine, we have the Ten of Wands. Again, change, again, in the reverse position. Now, when this one is standing tall, this is you harvesting your just rewards. Now, this is a 10, and 10s are about learning the new path. You harvest with the 7, and then you say, what do I do with this? I have all of these seeds. What do I do? Well, you reinvest them into a garden, right? You come to the realization with the 8, oh, look, I can plant a bigger garden. And so you make the choice with the 9. Well, once you have made the choice to reinvest your harvest, you have to learn about what you're doing, right? It is different growing a big garden as opposed to a small garden. It is different being in a position of authority as opposed to being the one under authority. This is you in authority, right? The secondary path, 8 through 14 of all the suits, is the higher step. It is being in authority. It is being the person making the calls. And that is what this is, right? This is you learning about a new path. That new path is intricately linked to the change that is occurring in your life currently that you are making happen. Now, when he is standing tall, he is working hard, right? He has gathered these 10. He is walking towards his home, and it's a burden he is stooped over, but it's not a burden that he cannot bear. He is still walking. And so this is a slow, methodical progress. This is just rewards, tend to be, for most people, the culmination, right? I see the harvest as a culmination. I see this as a reinvestment into generational wealth, generational change, generational thoughts and ideas, right? This is on the generational level. And so this is hard work and diligence leading to that. Now, this is a little bit less of that energy, right? This is you working slowly and methodically, plotting, going slowly to your home with your just rewards. In the reverse, again, this is a more active position, right? This is not slow and methodical, but sudden change, right? Now, this is change that you are in control of to a very large degree. This is much different than the Tower energy. This is much different than the Wheel of Fortune energy, right? This is you enacting the change that you want to see in your life. This is change. This is change. You are working towards it. It is currently unfolding, and this is telling you maybe be a little bit more aggressive in it. Next, we're going to go to the sacral, and the sacral is the area of physical generation. This is what you want to create in your life. If you have an idea for a business, you invest your energy through your heart out into the divine, and you take positive steps here in this area. This is also the area of sexual energy. It is dealing with lust and chastity. So you may be overpartaking of the mortal sins a little bit too much. You may be underpartaking, and neither one are particularly good in and of themselves. And you have some nurture the change energy here, right? This is the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is nurture the change. You have overcome the challenge of the night, and you are not quite yet to the harvest of the king. This is appropriately giving fertilizer, water, maintaining the garden in the way that it needs to be maintained, investing your energy in a mature, divine, feminine way. Now, you have this presenting in the reverse, so that can lead to some other things. Now, she is seated upon the position of authority. She has the sunflower here, and that is divine providence. She has the good luck cat at her feet, and she is holding her wand of change. She is looking towards the future. She is embracing the change and nurturing it. She is not trying to overpower it. She is simply accepting it and giving the appropriate energy to ensure that that comes about. You've got it in the reverse. So again, this is a more active position, right? This is change unfolding in your life, and this is you just kind of letting it happen and nurturing it. This is you in a more active position, right? You're not just nurturing it, you're going out and seeking the things to nurture. Now, this is not quite the divine masculine, right? That's the next step, but this is also not in the challenge, right? You are past the challenge. Now you're in the overcome and nurture stage, and it seems that you need to step out and do that more, right? You're allowing things to come to you, and that's good in some ways, but there are times when you have to be more aggressive in the change that you are trying to bring about in your life. And that is clarified by the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords is a hard choice. This is a cutting choice. It is a hard decision. Swords are about air. It is thought. It is intellect. It is communications. It is the soul. And so this is about making a choice and in the area of thoughts or communications. Now, that is dealing intricately with this change that you are to seek out. And so there is a hard decision that you have to make. She is blindfolded with the seas of change behind her, but she is seated upon the land, and she is looking forward into the land. And so this is making a decision about change, and it might be a difficult one, right? This is, the blindfold implies that you are impartial. It's not necessarily lacking knowledge, but you may have to make the choice lacking knowledge. Now, this does not appear to be sexual partnership energy or anything like that, but you envision your future here, and this is where you are taking positive steps towards it, making the manifestation happen, because manifestation does not happen if you are not actively participating in it. And so this is you seeking out the change that you want and making the hard decision to take that change. Next, we're going to go to the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is the area that literally changes your food into fuel. It is tied to your stomach. It is linked to temperance and gluttony. So the overconsumption of the mortal coil, the underconsumption of the mortal coil, and neither one of those are intrinsically good in and of themselves. Life is about balance. And you are facing a challenge about change. Right now, we've got a challenge about change leading to the harvest. You've got a little bit of a challenge from needing to nurture and seek out this change. And this is you rising to the challenge of the change. Now, the solar plexus drives all of the other things. It's what allows you to get up and go to work every day. It's what allows you to try to manifest better in your life. It's what allows you to manifest physically in your life. It allows you to communicate. It is the tie between all of these things. And this earthly path is intricately linked as well. This is your current situation, right? What you're trying to bring about, what is, and the method by which it will happen. Now, the method by which it will happen is you rising to meet the change. You rising to meet the challenge. The knight is rising to meet the challenge. He is charging backwards fast, right? He has his wand of change and the horse is moving quickly. He is fully armored. He is able to protect himself. He is going where he needs to go, and he is embracing the change and riding out to meet the change. And so what you're being told here is don't be defensive, be more aggressive in the change. Nurture the change, but seek out that change which you are to nurture and rise to meet the challenge of the change. And so it is evident that there is change unfolding in your life that you do need to embrace. Now, clarifying that with some actions that can be taken from the Divine Masculine, we have the Four of Wands. Yet again, change. Like on our bottom, on the path of the earth, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 cards telling you that there is change, right? Now, this is an understanding of the change. This is considered one of the marriage cards of the tarot, and it is with good reason, right? You have the two people here celebrating together. They are underneath this bow that can symbolize victory. It can symbolize union. Both are acceptable. And so this is a celebratory card. This is not negative in any way. This is a spirit of cooperation, not as much as we get with the threes, but definitely a spirit of cooperation. It is a divine partnership type of an energy. And so there can be someone coming in that is bringing you the necessary information, but not necessarily, right? This is you seeking, you making the choice, you doing the work. And so this is the celebration that is coming for this change. This is you understanding the change, means that you are embracing it. The Three of Wands is learning about it, like we saw here with the 10, right? The 10 is a greater reiteration of the 3, the higher level. And so this is celebratory of the change. And so it does appear that if you embrace the change that is currently unfolding, that you are trying to bring about, it's going to lead to good things, right? This is celebratory energy from you rising to meet the challenge, you rising to meet the challenge, you rising to meet the challenge. That is quite reiterated. Next, we're going to go to the heart, and the heart is where true manifestation happens. It ties the as above and the as below. It is the area that deals with greed and charity. So greed being associated with the mortal coil is loving things just a little bit too much. Charity being associated with the spiritual coil is loving things not quite enough, and neither one are intrinsically good. You are meant to have things, but not all of the things. You are meant to give away things, but not all of the things. And today you have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new presentation. Now, when it is standing tall, this is a new pathway, a new road, right? This is you walking down the path and you're like, oh, look, there's a path. It's not quite making the choice. That is the 2. But there is a choice to be made. Do you take the new path? Do you continue on the old one? This is a brand new opportunity, right? This is Pentacles. Pentacles are the same as the base. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? Provision. 1 through 7 is base provision. So this can be an indication of a new job. But you've got it in the reverse, and that indicates that this is probably a situation you're already aware of. Right? You have already been presented with this, and you have not taken advantage of it. That is going to be clarified in just a second, but this appears to be, right, if it is standing upright, this is the hand of providence handing you an opportunity dealing with the earthly path. This is you've already been handed that opportunity and you are ignoring it. Right? Now that's the energy of the Ace in reverse. Now, Clarifying that with some steps that can be taken, you've got the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles is about understanding the earthly path, right? You've got the Four of Wands over here that is understanding the change that is occurring. This is understanding this particular earthly path, and that is not something, normally these clarifiers are maybes, right? This is pretty definite, right? This understanding that you need to reach, actively need to reach this understanding in order to flip this Ace of Pentacles around. There is something you are not understanding about this earthly path, that you are not understanding the presentation of this new change. And so this is you embracing that. Now, some people look at this as a covetousness, right? He is being a little bit stingy. I don't necessarily see it that way. There's not a whole lot of stinginess in understanding, but sometimes you do need to understand that you got to give away a little bit. This can be considered a stingy card, though. Some people look at him holding this pentacle as though he is clutching it a little bit too tightly. What I see when I look at this is his knowledge. He has knowledge of the path, right? He has just learned with the three, all of these things, and now he is assimilating it. These two at his feet are the path that he can trod, and this is the path that he is currently on, that he is nurturing in order to understand. But because this is in the greed charity spot, and people do associate this with stinginess, there may be something about the earthly path that you need to be more charitable about. Right? Now, that can be that you are not understanding this presentation of the thing, not necessarily in that context. And so it probably doesn't have to do with that, right? With you being greedy, but it might. And so we're going to mention it. It is most likely that this path has been presented to you and you are not understanding that. Next, we're going to go to the throat, and the throat is the area of communications. It deals with pride and humility. So taking too much credit for your work, not taking enough credit for your work, neither one are particularly good. You should take pride in the job well done, but it does not make you better than anyone. And what you have here, this is charity. This is a 6, which is the nurturing energy, just like a queen on a lesser level, right? You have just finished the challenge. That's the word. The challenge of the 5, right? The challenge of the 5 and the challenge of the Knight, higher and lower level. And so this is, you have just risen to meet the challenge of the 5. 5 of Pentacles challenge is being broke, mostly destitution. This is overcome that, and now you are able to be charitable. Right now, this is, he's got the scales of balance right here. That is, he's not selling things. These people are asking for things, and he is dispensing it. He has provision all the way around him. He is able to give charitably with a good heart, right? That is what this card is saying. And so there can be a communication about that. Now, clarifying that, we have a little bit of a trouble. This is the 4, right? This is the Emperor, and 4s are about understanding, but this particular understanding is to understand the Divine Masculine, right? This is the Divine Masculine in its immature form. The Emperor is a little bit capricious. The Emperor is a little bit mean. The Emperor is a little bit greedy. The Emperor is a little bit overbearing, right? And so that's why he gets knocked out in the Death card. But for now, he is trying to understand his Divine Masculine. And part of the Divine Masculine is protective. Part of the Divine Masculine is destructive. And so there's a balance to be stricken in your Divine Masculine. Now, this charitable card paired with the Divine Emperor right here, right, in addition to this 4 of Pentacles over here, can indicate that maybe you are holding on a little bit too much to the monetary things. Again, not necessarily. There is a path that has been presented to you, and this is more intricately linked to you not having that understanding. But it could be that that path opens up by you being charitable, right? The understanding that you need is by being a little bit more charitable. This appears to be in provisionary ways, not with thoughts, not with ideas, not even with communications. Now, this is a communication spot, but if it had a sword in it, it would be like, okay, this is the communication that you need to be more charitable about. This energy is being more charitable in a work situation, being a provision situation, and that's going to lead to unlocking this understanding. All right, next up we're going to go to the third eye, and the third eye is where you envision your future. This is what you want. It is your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. It is the area of sloth and diligence. So are you working towards your goals with diligence, or do you just expect them to show up with no input from you? That is not going to happen. There is no manifestation that happens unless you are taking active steps and energetically investing into it. And you've got two swords here, and that is an interesting thing here in your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Swords represent soul, thought, communication, and thought, intellect, and communication. And so this can be about an idea that you have. If this was over here, it would probably be more related to a communication, but because it's over here, it's a thought. This is your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. This is your third eye, where you envision your future. When it is standing tall, this is the divine masculine in its maturity for the suit, right? The king is the culmination of the suit. It is the final harvest. Everything has grown exactly as it should, and now you are receiving the bounty, right? Now you have this in the reverse, so it is not quite unfolding for you. It is a card of thoughts, and so this is a divine masculine thought process that you are in control of. But it is not quite unfolded in your life. You are not taking the proper steps to make it happen. Now, that is a reiteration of what we're seeing here right now. There's a lot of different ways that these cards are linked. This bottom trio right here, that's a link. This top trio right here, that's a link. The central trunk's a link. The left-hand path, the right-hand path, those are links. But then we got diagonals, and those diagonals are linked as well. And so this can indicate this not understanding of this path. This is your idea that you are not acting upon in a timely way, and you need to rise to meet the challenge, and that leads to some celebration. Now, this is being clarified by the fact that you need to nurture a thought, right? This is you with the king not embracing that path, not being the divine masculine, riding out to handle the business, right? The divine masculine in its maturity is making appropriate decisions and being a little bit more aggressive than the queen is. The queen is about nurturing things so that you can get to that. This is the mastery of the divine feminine, which is the nurturing energy. And so this is telling you to nurture your idea so that you can go out and do it. And then you have this path that you have already been presented with that you are not doing, but you need some more understanding. And that understanding can come from being more charitable, or from nurturing your idea, or the both of them combined, because this is also a different way of reading them. There are so many different pathways that go through this that I really like the way it works. Next, we're going to go to the crown, and the crown is the divine message to you. And this is not the first time you've received this divine message. This is the area that deals with hope and despair. So if everything is going terribly and yet you find the silver lining, this is the area of responsibility. And if everything is going absolutely great and yet you choose to be depressed, this is the area that needs the balance. You have the magician in reverse. The magician, when he is standing tall, is the beginning of the whole path, right? This is realization that there is a higher path. This is the clarifier for the Eight of Pentacles. It is the higher path of provision. And this is him stepping into his magicianship, embracing the ability to manifest. He has infinite options, right? This infinity sign over his head right there. Infinite options. He has the athame raised into the as above. He is pointed down below. He has the altar with all the implements of magic upon it. This is stepping into your magicianship. This is seizing the authority for your life, creating what you want. But you're not doing that, are you? You're not stepping into that. You're not realizing your idea and going out and manifesting it. You're not putting the energy into understanding this new path. You're not nurturing the change. You're not rising to meet the change. All of these things you need to do, right? This is your current situation. And your message from the divine is that you need to embrace your magicianship. And that is clarified by the close of the tarot. Now, I didn't call this the opening of the tarot because there's the Fool, and the Fool is the key to all of the tarot, but he's the zero card. He is outside and intricately linked to all of the paths. This is the World card. This is the end of the path. This is everything good in the world, right? This is the most beneficial card. This is everything. This is the end. This is the final harvest of all of the things. This is the beginning of that, right? This is the realization that this path even exists. This is you not on the path quite yet. It is turned upside down. But if you take the steps to embrace it, you get the whole world, right? I don't know that there is a much more beneficial message than that. If you take the steps to embrace this and understand, things are going to be really good. Next, we're going to go to the divine, and the divine is a direct message to you. It is not colored by any of the virtues and the vices. The divine has all of the virtues and vices in perfect balance. And you are being presented with a new opportunity for change. This is the direct message from the divine to you, and it is saying you are being presented with an opportunity to change your life, right? This is divine providence handing you change. You have that, right? Your entire lower path is ate up with that. There's 5 out of the 6 cards telling you to embrace change. This is change. This is you embracing the change. This is the current situation of what the divine is telling you unfolding in your life. Now, clarifying that with steps that can be taken is a little bit less understanding for someone's emotions. That might be yours, but it's probably not. This is the Page of Cups. Cups are about body, spirit. It is feelings. It is the emotions. It is familial connections, spousal connections, co-worker connections, friendships. But it's not the people, the physical things. It's the emotions behind it. How does it make you feel? What are the emotions attached to it? And this is an understanding card, right? This is the higher level of understanding on the higher path. And when it is standing tall, it can indicate that you need to take consideration for other people's feelings. It can be yours. This isn't a really personal spot, so it's probably not. Like if it was here in the heart, then you need more understanding for yourself. This is you having a little bit less understanding. And we've discussed this a couple of times, but having less understanding for someone's emotions does not mean that you discard somebody's emotions, right? There's sometimes people are feeling emotions that aren't valid. They are having them and therefore they are true, but that doesn't mean that they are based in reality. If someone has hurt feelings because of something that you have done, then you should take responsibility for that. You should apologize and take actions to correct that, but no qualifiers on it, right? I did something wrong. Here's the steps I will take. But if you are not responsible for it, then you don't have to have that consideration. You don't have to have that understanding. You should have some level of understanding. They are going through emotions, but they are caused by something that is not true. And therefore, you do not have to give consideration to those emotions. Again, that does not say to disregard anyone. You are being told to be a little bit more charitable, to back off of the divine masculine over here, but you're being told to embrace it a little bit over here. Now, this is the era of communications, so be charitable in your communications. This is the era of your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. And so when it is dealing directly with your thought, your idea of this pathway, you need to be a little bit aggressive. And that aggressiveness can lead to not understanding. Right? Now, taking these 2 cards together in consideration with everything else that is on the deck, you are being presented with a lot of change, right? There is heavy change energy here. It is related to your thoughts. It's related to your ideas and your actions. But there's some understanding that needs to be stricken here. There is some greater understanding that needs to be had before you can fully unlock the path. But that comes from considering your actions. It comes from considering your thoughts. It comes from considering your pathway. But it does not come from considering anybody else's feelings, right? You have the 4 wands down here, which is understanding of change. You have the 4 of pentacles, which is understanding the earthly path. And then you have the Queen of Swords, which is the nurturing your thoughts and energies. And so overarching, right? You've got the understanding for yourself several times, but you don't have it for other people. And again, that is never to say completely disregard someone's feelings, but in order for your true path to manifest, for you to get these 2 aces, right? These 2 aces right here, change in the new path, you're going to have to step into your authority, right? This magicianship, and that's going to lead to the world. that's going to bring us to the end of the message. Hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, or follow. Throw me a comment if you agree or disagree with anything that was stated. Put it in the box down below. And if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you were here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt State. Peace.